Chelsea suffer late heartache against Brentford as the club drop 2 points yet again. My name is Archie Carter and welcome to the next instalment of The Good, The Bad and The Chelsea for the Brentford game. Now, if you don't know how this series works, I go through 2 good things and 2 bad things about the game that Chelsea played in. Today, we're going to be going through 2 good things and 2 bad things about the game against Brentford. It was a very, very tough game to take. It was a very, very tough pill to swallow, that late equaliser from Fabio Carvalho. But nevertheless, let's get into the video. The first good point is that our world-class players saved us against Brentford. Now, there's no secret. The first half was absolutely abysmal from Chelsea. The best player on the pitch in that first half was probably Moises Caicedo. The rest of the players didn't really seem to be able to create something. And it was a very, very poor first half. We were deservedly 1-0 down at half time. And then we brought on Cole Palmer and things started to change a bit, as is per usual when you bring on Cole Palmer. He scored a fantastic equaliser to bring us back in the game. Yes, he should have probably gotten another goal. It was a clear-cut opportunity and he should have scored. If it wasn't for Cole Palmer, we wouldn't be back in the game. So we can't blame him for that. And Moises Caicedo with an absolute rocket to put us 2-1 up, which should have been the winner. We should have won that game. Every time he scores a goal, his moment is always taken away from him. It's always disallowed, or it's never the winner. Against United, it was the equaliser. Against Brentford, it didn't end up being the winner. Moises Caicedo, he has a fantastic goal catalogue, and he scores belter after belter. But for some reason, we hardly ever take advantage, and we hardly ever it's hardly ever rewarded in wins. Look, we are incredibly lucky to have 2 world-class players like Cole Palmer, like Moises Caicedo at the club. And the game against Brentford showed why. If we didn't have them in our team, we would have lost. Plain and simple, we would have lost. We've got some fantastic players in the club, but you need those needle movers. And not every player in your team needs to be a needle mover, but you need those needle movers. And we've got that in Moises Caicedo. We've got that in Cole Palmer. Marc Cucurella made a difference as well when he came on. I'm so happy that we've got those players, and I'm hoping that we can get them back to full fitness. My only worry now is because obviously Dario Eusebio has got an injury, so now he's out till maybe the start of next year. Moises Caicedo is going to have to do a lot more work in that position he plays in. I'm hoping that Enzo Maresca gives Andre Santos some minutes in that role, because Andre Santos can play very well in that role, depending on who the opposition is. But it looks like Moises Caicedo yet again is going to have to keep his fitness and keep starting in games for us, because it's a bit worrying that he's having to start all these games for us, but we don't have any other option right now. And Cole Palmer, again, is so good that he's getting back to full fitness. I hope he can start against Bayern Munich. I'm guessing he will start against Bayern Munich. And we're going to need him against Bayern, because we're going to need some magic if we want to beat Bayern Munich. Also, let's talk about some other fantastic players that made a difference as well. João Pedro, he made a fantastic difference as well. Got an assist for Cole Palmer's goal. He is showing why Chelsea signed him at the minute, and he's been a fantastic addition to the club so far. Like Moises Caicedo, because Liam Delap's injured, and it doesn't seem like Enzo Maresca really wants to use Mark Guéhi that much, we're going to have to stick with João Pedro and hope that he keeps his fitness, and hope and pray that he does not get injured. The next good point is that Enzo Fernandez is finally finding his form again. Now, Enzo Fernandez is a curious case at Chelsea. I absolutely love Enzo. I think he gets way too much hate from the Chelsea fans. And it's all about finding the right position when it comes to Enzo Fernandez. This guy loves Chelsea Football Club. Like, I don't understand how Chelsea fans can hate on a guy that is a talented footballer like he is, and loves Chelsea as much as he does. He was one of the first to buy into the project, mind you. One of the first. You know, before Cole Palmer came in, before Moises Caicedo came in, it was Enzo Fernandez. He said to Benfica sporting directors, no, I want to go to Chelsea. I don't want to stay at Benfica anymore. I don't want to wait till next summer. I want to go to Chelsea. He could have waited to the summer for someone like Real Madrid to come in for him, Man City, Liverpool, and I'm sure all of them would have given him a great financial package. But but he wanted to go to Chelsea. That's why I'll always root for Enzo Fernandez. He has not started the season great. He has not had the best start to the season. He's been a bit lazy. He's been a bit clunky at times. But now you can see he's lost a bit of weight. He's leaned up a bit. And now he's playing with a bit more freedom. He played a bit more deeper against Brentford than he has done this season so far. He wasn't box crashing as much as we're used to. And he played very, very well. I think people say, oh, we don't like Enzo Fernandez box crashing because he doesn't offer enough attacking wise, but then he gets goals and assists. Then when he's playing deeper, people are saying Enzo Fernandez does nothing because he doesn't get goals and assists. So it's really just like, kind of pick which position you want Enzo Fernandez to play. I think a lot of our fans are just looking for reasons to hate on Enzo Fernandez at times. I thought he had a fantastic game. I think personally he can play both attacking wise and deeper as well. He doesn't need to be stuck to one position and one role every single game. He can play both roles very, very well. And he played very, very well against Brentford. And look, long may it continue for Enzo Fernandez to have great form. I think he's severely underrated. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo pivot is one of the best in the league. I honestly think that. Rival fans may laugh at me for that, but I honestly do think it's one of the best in the league. It depends where Enzo's playing. Yes, I do prefer him playing deeper because he can impact the game a bit more, albeit silently. He won't get goals and assists from that position, but he can impact the game a lot more. So I do prefer him playing deeper, but when he's playing attacking wise, he gets goals and he gets assists, which is all you can ask for when a player's playing more attacking. So yeah, great performance from Enzo Fernandez, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do against maybe Bayern Munich if he starts, or Man United as well at the weekend. 2 huge games coming up, 2 huge performances needed from Enzo. We're going to go on to the bad points now, and the first bad point is that the defence was very poor. Now, obviously, I'm only using Trevor Chalobah and Tosin Adarabioyo as the 2 pictures on the bad point here, because I can't put Hato and Wesley Fofana in there as well. The only reason I've chosen Trevor and Tosin is because really they were supposed to be the marshals of the defence as the centre-back partnership. A lot of the defensive weaknesses does lie on them, but we're going to go through each player. And Gerald Hato, it's clear he's a massive prospect, but he's been a bit up and down recently. We haven't really seen a massive cameo from him. And he got taken off at half time pretty quickly. He didn't have the greatest performance. Wesley Fofana, it's clear he's still very rusty from his injury, which is obviously to be expected. It's to be expected that Wesley Fofana is a bit rusty. But I'm looking at that first goal, and that is all on Wesley Fofana. Yes, Tosin isn't the best in 1v1 defending, but as a defensive partner, you're supposed to hide your teammates' weaknesses. And Wesley Fofana didn't do that. Jordan Henderson with a fantastic ball to Kevin Sade. That's nothing taken away from Henderson's ball. He's a timeless player. But Wesley Fofana, he's just ball watching. He's not even looking at the run of Sade. It's a dangerous run from Sade. And Wesley Fofana's not even looking at that run there. Yes, last season he could rely on Levi Colwill to kind of bail him out at times, which is why he can be a bit more erratic and kind of come out of his position a bit more. But you can't do that when you've got Tosin as your defensive teammate. Tosin's a fantastic defender, but 1v1 defending, he's very poor at. We saw it with Josh King. Josh King absolutely had him on toast. And again, it was the same with Kevin Sade. Tosin, he needs to improve in that aspect, but Wesley Fofana, he was very poor as well. Trevor Chalobah, he's maybe the only one that can hold his hands up and say that he played quite well. I'm not singling out any individual player. The whole defence is to blame. And that last goal we conceded, it's just so poor. And yes, it wasn't completely under the defenders, but we're conceding a long throw-in. Like, this is the Premier League. Conceding long throw-ins in the Premier League. Like, come on, it's the last minute of the game. When you're looking at the Arsenals, the Liverpools of the Premier League, they're title challengers, they're title contenders, because they don't concede goals like that. And it really frustrates me and disappoints me, because I thought that we were a team that could win ugly now. We can win games even when we're not at our best. It seems like we've still got a way to go before we can really be on the level of Liverpool when it comes to that. They were terrible against Burnley, but Mohamed Salah scored a penalty and they got the 3 points. That's what matters in the end. So we need to be better in that aspect of seeing out games. And yes, we are getting better, but there is always room for improvement. And the last bad point is Alejandro Garnacho had a mixed debut. I don't want to make it sound like I'm criticising Garnacho straight away, because he actually had a very, very good debut. Jamie Gittins, he was not at it yet again. He's still got a lot of developing to do, which is fair enough. But Alejandro Garnacho, when he came on, he was a lot brighter, and you know what? I'll be a lot happier playing him at left wing than I will be playing Jamie Gittins at left wing for the time being. You know, looking at Garnacho, he was making great runs, he was making great cutbacks, which led to the Moises Caicedo goal. It didn't class as an assist for him, but he did have a big role in helping that goal happen. He was very bright. He was a bright spark in attack, so we can acknowledge that for Garnacho. I'm sorry, that equaliser that Brentford scored, that's on Garnacho because he's letting his man get away from him there. It's simple defending. You don't need to be a defender. You don't need to be a world-class defender to know what to do there. Just watch your man. Just watch your man. That's all you need to do. And he left his man open at the back post, which is the worst thing that you can do in that situation. And again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm criticising Garnacho, but he has to be better there. He has to be. Because, yes, he might have helped us score, but he might have just cost us 2 points as well. I don't want to put all the blame on him, because all the blame is not on him, but he might have just cost us 2 points there. The thing that annoys me the most, or the thing that frustrates me the most, if that's João Pedro in Garnacho's position, João Pedro clears that, and João Pedro watches his man, and then we get the 3 points. You know, it was a mixed debut for Garnacho. I can't criticise him too much, but he needs to learn to be more alert, and hopefully our set-piece coaches can tell him that. So we're going to go for the overall thoughts now, and overall I thought Chelsea played terrible in the first half. It's probably the worst performance I've seen from us so far this season, without a doubt. We were just absolutely terrible. No attacking spark. Buonanotte, he played quite well in the first 45, but again, he wasn't really the kind of depth option that we needed. It was not a great performance in the first half. Second half was a lot better. We brought on Cole Palmer, and guess what? It made us a better team bringing on Cole Palmer, which is just standard. We were a lot better in the second half, creating a lot more chances. Defensively, we were more solid in the second half. Unfortunately, that second goal, doesn't help my argument with that, but we were a lot more solid. And look, I know a lot of people are criticising Enzo Maresca for his lineup against Brentford. He made a lot of changes, and when Maresca makes a lot of changes, usually it doesn't really work out. He made the changes against Brentford last season and against Ipswich, and we dropped points in both those games. And we dropped points yet again. I don't want to put this all on Maresca, but he is at fault a bit, because he could have chosen a much better starting 11 if he wanted to rotate. He didn't need to play Fofana on the right-hand side of the defence. He wasn't ready to start the game. He cost us a goal as well. Moises Caicedo was absolutely fantastic, but did he need to start today? Yes, he could have been brought on in the second half maybe, and he could have started Andre Santos instead. Buonanotte, he looked good. Another thing, why is Josh Ashapong not starting? We need to give the boy more starts. He started against Crystal Palace. Why can we not start him more often in the Premier League? That centre-back partnership of Tosin and Trevor Chalobah, it's not working. Just play Josh, because he's an absolute wonder kid, and let him grow into that Levi Colwill role, because I really think he can. We just need to be starting Josh more often, and I don't know why he's not. I hope we can start to see him start against maybe United or Bayern Munich. Yes, they're big games, but I think he's ready for that big step up. So there were lots of problems with this performance. There were lots of good things. As I said, Garnacho, he had a bright debut, even if he was at fault for the second goal. Moises Caicedo and Cole Palmer were absolutely fantastic. Reece James and Mark Cucurella made a massive difference as well. They both showed why they're our best fullback options. It was a very, very up and down game. And to be honest, it was absolutely devastating, that last-minute equaliser. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of our performance against Brentford in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.